We are bringing to you live visuals coming in of Prime Minister Narendra Modi launching the very Namo Bharat train at the Shatabdi Nagar Namo Bharat station. This is in Meerut in Uttar Pradesh. This comes in as a big boost to the connectivity in this very region. He was earlier, as we were bringing to you visuals of him being in fact welcomed and received by the Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath and the Deputy Chief Ministers as well. At this given point, we see him taking a quick tour of the very station itself and just to take a look as to the entire facility there and also the displays that have been put up there, which in fact has the history of this very station penned down in terms of how it has developed over the years, and also a special display that's been put up of this very train as well to in fact just showcase the features. This in fact is visuals that's coming in from the Shatabdi Nagar Namo Bharat station that we are bringing to you. Ashutosh Mishra, who has been bringing us live updates since morning, joining us on the broadcast. Ashutosh, these are the first visuals we see, and we see how the Prime Minister is just being given a quick tour of the station where there are displays put up of the features and of how the station as a whole has developed over the years. Just take us through what details are you picking up there?
Well, 30,000 crore, and that's what gives the booster dose for this transportation infrastructure. And remember, within 7 years. So this is something, a milestone achievement for the Modi government, and that probably Prime Minister would feel proud of the department and all the workers, those who work. In fact, what I'm also told, that when he'll be traveling with the 10-minute ride of the rapid rail, there'll be students also, and also the workers, those who have been part of this infrastructure, the transportation, the entire route. Within 7 years is incredible achievement. In fact, these are the people who will be working. And remember when I said women empowerment, this is not going to be symbolic when it comes to NCRTC. 80% staff, particularly the driver, those will be running, those operating those trains, will be women. So आप लोगों के लिए कितना बड़ा दिन है?
बहुत बड़ा दिन है सर, क्योंकि ये बहुत टाइम के बाद हम वेट कर रहे थे कि कब मेरठ कॉरिडोर खुलेगा और पैसेंजर्स के लिए इजी रहेगा ट्रैवल करना, क्योंकि बाय रोड बहुत दिक्कत होती है पैसेंजर्स को।
बताइए कि नॉर्मली ट्रेन में मेल ड्राइवर्स होते हैं, अब यहाँ कॉम्पीट जो होगा फीमेल ड्राइवर बताया कि सब 80% है सारे, और बाकी जो स्टाफ है उसमें भी महिलाओं का रिप्रेजेंटेशन है। वुमेन एम्पावरमेंट लग रहा है यहाँ पर कम से कम दिखाई दे रहा है।
हाँ सर, अच्छे से दिख रहा है।
कितना गर्व का मौका आप लोगों के लिए?
बहुत ज्यादा, क्योंकि हमारी होल इंडिया की सबसे फर्स्ट सेमी स्पीड हाई ट्रेन है और मोदी जी ने इनॉग्रेट किया है इसको हर बारी, तो हमें बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है। एज अ विमेन ये यहाँ पे बहुत ही ज्यादा हमारे लिए प्राउडफुल मोमेंट है।
सेमी स्पीड हाई ट्रेन, अब आप समझिए कि सेमी हाई स्पीड ट्रेन, एंड व्हेन आई से श्रेया that it is eventually gives a teaser of how bullet trains. And then again I said it won't be exaggerated if I say that this is a semi bullet train, 160 km/h on the elevated tracks, of course certain underground area, connecting two different cities of two different states. 82 kilometers within 55 minutes. So the Prime Minister is taking a glimpse of the whole road map of this area, and at the same time he'll also be taking a ride. So probably in a couple of minutes you'll have those glimpses of along with the UP Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath. And remember, even if you see on the political optics, within a year from now, next year in February, the UP will go for the largest state of India will go for the assembly poll. So for the Western Uttar Pradesh, that remains very critical, significant for any political parties. The BJP will try to take an advantage at the same time that look, we're not only talking about the political optics or the caste chemistry or the religious equation, but at the same time we have also given the booster dose. A booster dose that connects Meerut to Ghaziabad, to Noida, Gautam Budh Nagar. All these connectivity will come in reducing the time span of the traveling. So the booster dose, connectivity, NCR connectivity, infrastructure, the road and the transportation like this. So that the multiple aspects in the political optics that works for a political party or just ahead of the, 1 year of the elections. But for now, again, one of the residents, I'm being a resident of Gautam Budh Nagar, and any resident of NCR would understand the significance of such projects, reducing the time. And remember in Noida, Ghaziabad, hardly you would be able to buy, a 2 BHK flat less than 1 crore rupees. So when you see the NCR city itself is growing beyond Ghaziabad, beyond Gautam Budh Nagar, it is eventually will also bring down certain residential infrastructure to our pocket, because the size of NCR is going to expand. At the same time, for the business communities, number of vehicles, you rightly said that how it is going to be helpful, because you can park your BMW, Mercedes, exactly the parking areas, take the rapid rail, within 40 minutes you are Meerut. Then from Meerut, you are good to go to reach Delhi, and then take further metro or take your vehicle towards the airport. So all these, if you see in a combined package, this is literally incredible achievement for the government, particularly connectivity. Of course, these have been multiple phases. We have seen the first phase is connectivity till Duhai, then another stretch that was connectivity to Sahibabad to Ashok Nagar. This is the final and the last leg that makes all 82 kilometer within 40 to 55 minutes operational, and 6 p.m. onwards, viewers, you'll be able to take a ride of this incredibly amazing infrastructure, the transportation, which looks like literally what we see the trains in Korea, in China, in Japan, in other Western countries. This is what you're going to get from today after 6 p.m. Take a ride, just buy your tickets online, QR code scanner, highly technically advanced equipped, and then this Namo rail, the rapid rail, is all set to welcome the commuters from 6 p.m. onwards today. Shreya.
Right, Ashutosh. So yes, as we already see, inauguration having been gone at the Shatabdi Nagar Namo Bharat station. Viewers, these are the visuals that we're consistently bringing to you of the Prime Minister at that very station. And well, Ashutosh, coming back to you, you have been taking us through the state-of-art facilities and the features of these very coaches and the trains, and how indeed in this particular time, this is the kind of infrastructure that India indeed needs. And you've highlighted a very crucial point that Uttar Pradesh goes into elections next year itself, and this comes in as a very important infrastructural push. And not just this, as we were talking about earlier, 12,930 crore is the amount worth which developmental projects shall be inaugurated today by the Prime Minister. So it's not just the connectivity that's getting a boost, but we see the vikas of this region, the development of this region in totality also being pushed to great extents. Just to shed some light on that, Ashutosh, if you could bring us some details.
Well, it's a semiconductor unit that is near the Jewar airport area. So that's a semiconductor unit that also will be inaugurated. So as we know, the India is now truly running and heading towards being AI hub, the data storage hub, at the same time the semiconductor hub. So when we have the foreign investors literally seeing India as a great parking venue, we are ready to provide them infrastructure. India has the manpower available, you have the land available, you have the facilities available, and as we have providing all these, this literally welcomes the foreign investors, and that's why we see the UP being one of the largest state. We have seen the arms factories, we have the missile formation. So that's why I said the one side of the governance optics is that UP is being made largest state, all the facilities available for the investors, but on the other side, everything how a government or a political party also cashed upon, and that's what the idea of the democracy is, that you provide this infrastructure, you go to the election and tell people, look, this is what we have provided. And that's why when we see the Namo Bharat train, a few of these passengers, so within 30 minutes from now, once the operational part and the inauguration part is completed, then we will see the train running from this moment. So all these connectivity, let me take you all the stations. So it begins from Modipuram to Begumpul, Shatabdi Nagar. This is where exactly Prime Minister is, Shatabdi Nagar. Then Meerut South, Modi Nagar North, Modi Nagar South, Murad Nagar, Duhai, Guldhar, Ghaziabad, Sahibabad, Anand Vihar. And remember, there are multiple interjections. These areas where we have the metro connectivity is available within Meerut. And from Anand Vihar, you have the, mostly the train that is running to Eastern India. The Anand Vihar remain one of the another interchange remain. New Ashok Nagar, where you have the direct connectivity of the Delhi Metro towards Rajiv Chowk and another till Dwarka. So all these interchanges are also significant. So reducing time by the vehicles not only from Meerut to Delhi, but many of these people, remember, someone has to travel from Meerut to Gurugram or for the Delhi airport. It takes literally more than around 3.5 hours. The turnaround time is around 3.5 hours. Someone taking metro, coming down to Sarai Kale Khan takes 40 minutes. From here, either take bus, either taxi, and or take the metro station. That means another 40 minutes. So reducing the time literally, more than 1.5 times. So that is the traveling time. So the significance for an ordinary commuter to a resident of NCR, there is a multiple, the outcome that we are seeing as far as this project is concerned. Shreya.
Right, Ashutosh, we will come back to you just to take our viewers through these visuals that's now coming in. At this point, we see the Prime Minister on board that Namo Bharat train that we have been speaking of since morning. One of its kind that in fact is currently the ride that's in fact being taken by the Prime Minister. If we had to quickly take a look at this very train, and also we see him speaking and interacting with students on this very train. And we also have the Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath, who is currently, in fact, accompanying him on that very ride, the first ride on this very Namo Bharat train that we are speaking of. Students from different backgrounds, from diverse backgrounds, educational backgrounds, that is, who seem to be interacting, and age range as well, who seem to be interacting, officials as well, who seem to be interacting with the Prime Minister. The Namo Bharat RRTS, the completion of India's first operational RRTS corridor, that is, from the national capital, that is Delhi to Meerut, including a 5-kilometer Delhi stretch, that is from Sarai Kale Khan to New Ashok Nagar, and a 21-kilometer Meerut stretch, that is Meerut South to Modipuram. This is part one of the launch program today, one of the crucial parts that we will see, one of the crucial highlights rather, we will be seeing of this very program today. And if we are to speak of some of the features which our colleague Ashutosh has been highlighting since the morning today, maximum design speed that's been made of this very train is of 180 km per hour. Operational speed, however, is at 160 km per hour. And this, in fact, cuts down the travel time between these two regions to as less as just 40 to 50 minutes. This is trains shall be available every 5 to 15 minutes initially with, of course, air-conditioned coaches, dedicated women's coach, all of which we have brought to you on our channel itself in ground reports that we've been bringing to you since morning. There is a business class section. Again, premium lounges at the stations that's also being made, and amenities like mobile charging, LCD displays, automatic doors, panoramic windows, CCTV, Kavach, the anti-collision system, which is a very crucial part of these newly launched trains, and the bio-vacuum toilets. More importantly, in fact, at some of these, between some of these coaches, one also has vending machines, which will be available with some snacks that we were also bringing to you in case somebody feels hungry, because we also see advanced ETCS level 2 signaling, grade separated tracks, flexible overhead catenary, and seamless integration with Indian Railways. Ashutosh joining us back with more report on this. Quickly, let's listen into him.
हो चुका है। तो दरअसल यहाँ पर जहाँ मैं हूँ सराय काले खां पर, ये दिल्ली का आखिरी स्टेशन है। प्रधानमंत्री जहाँ जा रहे हैं वो मेरठ का आखिरी स्टेशन है। वहां से उनकी यात्रा शुरू होगी, यहाँ से मेरी यात्रा शुरू होगी। थोड़ी देर बाद ये ट्रेन यहाँ से चलने वाली है। अब उस उद्घाटन के साथ ही दरअसल ये पूरा चरण है, 4 चरण, 4 अलग पैकेज थे। पहले हमने देखा था दुहाई तक इसको शुरू किया गया था, उसके बाद जो है अशोकनगर तक का स्ट्रेच शुरू हुआ। अब आज आगे का अशोकनगर से जो ये इलाका है 14 किलोमीटर का, सराय काले खां तक इसको भी जोड़ दिया जाएगा। यानी इसके बाद से, और ये भी बता दें, आज शाम को 6 बजे के बाद आप भी आ सकती हैं, और उसके बाद जितने हमारे दर्शक हैं वो इस मेट्रो, इस रैपिड रेल का लुत्फ उठा सकते हैं। 6 बजे खुल जाएगा आम लोगों के लिए। आइए, QR कोड से टिकट लीजिए, स्कैन कीजिए, ट्रेन में यात्रा कीजिए।
So this is the Namo Bharat rapid train that we are speaking of, viewers, and this is at this given point of time. There are several stations in Meerut that will be, in fact, included in this. 21 kilometer is the stretch that we're speaking of here. Meerut South, Shatabdi Nagar, Begumpur and Modipuram. In fact, the Prime Minister has taken this very train from Meerut in Shatabdi Nagar station specifically itself. This is an integrated service, let us tell you that. The 82-kilometer corridor features both Namo Bharat and the new Meerut Metro. Both will be running on the same track.
अब 2 घंटे जाने की जरूरत नहीं है। किसी को एयरपोर्ट जाना है तो 3 घंटे का इंतजार नहीं है, 1.5 घंटे में आप तो एयरपोर्ट पहुंच जाएंगे, क्योंकि मल्टीपल कनेक्टिविटी है, सड़क मार्ग से कनेक्टेड, मेट्रो से कनेक्टेड है, और उसके बाद इंटरचेंज आप हाईवे पहले ही बना हुआ है दिल्ली से मेरठ तक का, उसकी भी जो दूरी है, जो समय है वो कम हो जाएगा, गाड़ियों की संख्या कम हो जाएगी। तो कई पहलुओं पर अगर देखें तो उसका मकसद दिखाई देता है कि एक तो लोगों के भी संदेश जाना, गवर्नेंस का मैसेज देना, और उसी के साथ साथ कि आप चुनाव की जब दहलीज पर खड़े हो, यूपी एक साल बहुत ज्यादा होता नहीं है, तो कम से कम वो संदेश भी एक जाएगा कि देखिए हमने लॉ एंड ऑर्डर ठीक किया, उसके साथ साथ आपको ये व्यवस्था, ट्रांसपोर्टेशन दे रहे हैं, इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर दे रहे हैं। और इसीलिए जब आप इस ट्रेन में आते हैं, और इसलिए मैं कह रहा कि आप इसको सेमी हाई स्पीड ट्रेन कहते हैं, लेकिन जब बुलेट ट्रेन, जब भी उसमें जितना भी समय लग जाए आने में, तो इसको अगर सेमी बुलेट ट्रेन कह ले तो बहुत ज्यादा अतिशयोक्ति तो नहीं है, क्योंकि रफ्तार 160 किलोमीटर है, सबसे तेज चलने वाली ट्रेन है, बेहतर, शानदार। अब जैसे वंदे भारत ट्रेनों में हमने देखा, ये तो उससे भी ज्यादा खूबसूरत है। खड़े होने का जो एरिना वो जगह है, आप बैठ के अपना फोन चार्ज कर रहे हैं, वो वेंडिंग मशीन दी गई है, फूड वेंडिंग मशीन दी गई है, और सब कुछ सिर्फ 55, ये जो 40 से 55 मिनट की दूरी है सिर्फ इतने के लिए है। बिजनेस कम्युनिटी मुझे लगता है शशि इससे सबसे ज्यादा फायदेमंद होगी, क्योंकि जिन लोगों को दिल्ली से मेरठ अपने कारोबार के लिए जाना है, मेरठ से आगे मुरादनगर, मोदी नगर, मुरादाबाद, उन सबके लिए बेहतर है अपनी गाड़ी पार्किंग में छोड़िए, ट्रेन लीजिए, 40 मिनट में दिल्ली, काम खत्म किया, वापस आए, अपनी गाड़ी ली, फिर घर चले गए। तो आप सोचिए कि सिर्फ 1.5 घंटे, पौने 2 घंटे का समय, तेल बचा, समय बचा, आपका काम, समय ही तो सबसे कीमती है।
Yes, that is definitely one of the big plus points that this particular train would be bringing in. That is the time that it cuts down of travel between Meerut and Delhi at this point. So this is, of course, one great feature that we will be seeing. In fact, bringing down the travel time to approximately 45 to 50 minutes is as low as it gets. The full journey, that is between Delhi and Meerut, has been reduced to under an hour, which initially would at least take nothing less. This 82-kilometer stretch would take definitely more than 1.5 hours. And in fact, this comes in as a big boost to the connectivity in this very region, as my colleague was also mentioning. This indeed helps people who are traveling for work from Meerut itself to easily be able to access the airports in the national capital as well. It makes the entire journey quite easy and easily accessible, and also people who also travel from Delhi to Meerut, even for them it becomes quite a ease of access to in fact be taking this very service as a mode of commute. Now the trains so far, at least till now, features 6 coaches, and the comfort and seating is something which we have already brought to you in terms of the state-of-the-art facility and features that we have been showing to you. It has every possible feature and modern technology that could be included in these coaches. What is very special about these trains is the fact that there is not only a dedicated women's coach, but a lot of the drivers who will be riding these very metros are women. At this point, that we were also learning from Ashutosh, as he, in fact, the first train ride that will also be operated by 2 women drivers is what we are learning at this point. Sarai Kale Khan is one particular point, and on the other side we are in fact seeing that this will be connecting to Modipuram on the other side. So the rapid services will be functional from 6 AM to 10 PM. For booking any of these services, one would have to be using digital scanners. That is how this booking takes place. And there are also lounges in the very station that has been made and provided within these very stations that's also being inaugurated today, which makes it even more upgraded in terms of systems. Now this project, remember, comes in, this particular inauguration of this very train comes in within the wider boost developmental projects that we see in this very region, the infra boost that we see in this very region, because there is a 12,930 crore package that is of developmental projects that will be inaugurated by the Prime Minister today. With that, Ashutosh Mishra, who's constantly been bringing us all the latest updates from these very stations, will in fact be taking you through some more of the features that these trains in fact have in this ground report. Take a look.
Namo Bharat train has a premium coach. We are inside the premium coach, and the premium coach that it marks has special those arrangements. In case of emergency, health emergency, you can literally speak to the driver just by putting a alarm. Here, message you can talk to. That's a console, digital another console. When you travel through the premium coach, you'll see the passenger, the kind of benefits it provides you. Every such seat has the mobile charging system. 3-pin laptop and mobile charging special, these systems provided. At the same time, the traveling, since it's a 50-minute with the 160 km/h, traveling the 80 km of the stretch, literally it gives you a comfort, and the comfort in the sense of you have the reclining seats. So the 55 minutes of the journey will literally be comfortable. And at the same time, 50 minutes throughout, we are going to peak of the summer. You'll see the sun literally traveling. Here, these are the blinders. Use the blinders, protect yourself from the sunlight. And these are blinders. Of course, for the special rack mechanism, you can place your luggage. And as we travel further, remember 50 minutes of such drive through, eventually someone will feel thirsty, probably someone not carrying tiffin. And this helps people from the Meerut eventually travel through their work connecting Meerut and Delhi within 50 minutes. Usually, sometimes it takes even more than an hour to travel from Ghaziabad and Noida to Delhi. Here you have a food vending machine as well. कैसे काम करेगी?
ये स्कैनर है, स्कैनर से अपन ऐप से स्कैन कर सकते हैं उसको, उसके बाद में ये फूड को सेलेक्ट करके आप उसको स्कैन करके निकाल
You can
सकते
see
हैं।
the food vending machine. You have all the beverages, some food, some chips, some packets, and at the same time, this road. When the trains start running, the premium coach will have this gates totally closed.
Namo Bharat RRTS, that is what we are speaking of here, viewers, and this is the particular train that we are in fact seeing being inaugurated by the Prime Minister. And this indeed comes as a very big push in the region in terms of the connectivity and the railway system, not just the railway system, but the transport system in general across Uttar Pradesh, and the ones that connected to the national capital in itself. This comes in as a big boost to that infrastructure that already exists, trying to upgrade it and make it much better, and in fact one that comes in not just use but indeed helps people in terms of easing out their travel time between these two regions. Of course, because this particular stretch in itself is a very busy stretch for people who constantly commute daily for work as well. So which is why this particular system comes in to help those who travel, take this travel every day.
शाम को 6 बजे ये शुरू होगा, लेकिन अब से आधे घंटे में कम से कम मुझे जरूर मौका मिल गया है कि यहां से लेकर के अशोकनगर या आगे जहां तक ट्रेन जाए एक बार देखते हैं फिर कैसा दृश्य है, तो वो रिपोर्ट भी हम जरूर दिखाएंगे आपको। शशि।
That's Ashutosh Mishra constantly bringing us all the updates and the features of this very corridor, the RRTS corridor. And also remember, it's not just this particular train that will be running on this very track. It's also the Meerut Metro that will be inaugurated by the Prime Minister. That will also be running on this particular stretch itself, on this particular stretch of rail track as well. 21 to 23 kilometer of elevated and at-grade network with 13 stations. That is what the Meerut Metro entails. That will have Shatabdi Nagar, Begumpul, Modipuram, all of these stations shall be included in it, and that will be operational at a speed of 120 km per hour integrated with the RRTS on a shared infrastructure. So these are some of the features that we have been consistently bringing to you in terms of what this very rail corridor shall be bringing to the people in this very region. And at this point, we will keep taking you through the details, through the features and all of what we are learning about these very coaches and trains so far. And this is the rapid rail revolution that we are in fact talking about in this very region. And the Prime Minister has already inaugurated one of them. We will be taking you through all of those details as we have been since morning. We are awaiting the rest of the developments as well, the rest of the inaugurations as well that will take place of almost as many as 12,930 crore rupee projects. That is the amount, that is what these projects are worth. All of those projects shall be inaugurated by the Prime Minister today as we speak. But yes, the focus is on this very rail corridor so far as we speak. Viewers, let's quickly take you through the Delhi-Meerut Namo Bharat corridor itself. This is what it will be connecting. Sarai Kale Khan, New Ashok Nagar, Anand Vihar, Sahibabad, Ghaziabad, Guldhar, then Duhai, Duhai Depot, Muradnagar, Modi Nagar South, Modi Nagar North, Meerut South, Shatabdi Nagar, then Begumpul and Modipuram. So it starts right here in Delhi, Sarai Kale Khan, that's where it starts in Delhi, and then moves up to as much as Modipuram in Meerut. That is the exact map that we have tracked down of this very journey that this very train shall be taking. This is the way that this particular rapid rail shall be taking, in fact, as it covers this 82-kilometer stretch. Ashutosh continues to be with us. Ashutosh, we were just taking our viewers through the stations that will be covered in this 82-kilometer stretch by this Namo Bharat train, and how you have also been explaining to us how this is also being looked at as a semi-bullet train and not just a rapid train, because of the speed at which 180 kilometers per hour is what is facilitated, or what exactly can be endured by this very rail. That's the maximum limit it can reach up to, but it will be functional at somewhere around 160 kilometers per hour. That's what we are learning.
Yes, and so far, if you see, almost this is going to be the high, the fastest train so far. With this speed, I mean, there are Vande Bharat trains also which can operate at certain speed, the high speed. But this train, regional rail, the rapid rail or the Namo rail, this is going to run with the speed of 160 km per hour. And why I say not, it is only connecting between Delhi and Meerut. Remember, even for the future expansion of this regional rail connectivity, that's why we see at Sarai Kalekha, the first from Delhi and last from Meerut. This platform, there is a multiple platforms. So 1 and 2 which is operational for Delhi to Meerut, but beyond that there is another 2 more platforms because that is going to come down with the future connectivity. Remember, Delhi to Karnal, Haryana will also be connected with the similar rail. So which is also under construction under the project. Once it is completed, this will connect Delhi to Haryana again in the sooner time. Then the future project is also connecting Delhi to Alwar, which is the Rajasthan. So you have Delhi to Haryana, Delhi to Rajasthan. So that Delhi to Karnal and Delhi to Alwar. That's the future project. So even keeping an eye on the future connectivity, the enhancement of this platform or this infrastructure has already been elevated, looking in the mind that even there will be need in the future to connect the NCR town. So why we say when you talk about NCR, it hardly connects to Muradnagar, Modi Nagar or Ghaziabad. But reaching out to 82 kilometers, that is nearly 100 kilometers of the radius of Delhi, that makes the larger NCR picture. So this is increasing the size of NCR. The platform that you're seeing, which is inaugurated by the Prime Minister, is taking the train. All the platforms will eventually look like the similar. Everything that is required for an advanced economy with such transportation infrastructure is reflected.
Right, Ashutosh. Yes, we do understand this is a very advanced technology that we are seeing here in this particular station itself. Sarai Kalekhan is where Ashutosh is currently, and he's been reporting since morning from there, bringing us all the details about this very project that has been launched today by the Prime Minister. And we will keep bringing you all the latest updates. But we have been bringing to you all the latest updates coming in from Meerut at this point, as the Prime Minister is visiting the very place to, in fact, be inaugurating developmental projects worth rupees 12,930 crore rupee. And he's already, in fact, launched the 2 major projects which remain to be a highlight of this day, which is Namo Bharat RRTS, that is the rapid rail, and the Meerut Metro Phase 1. Both of which, in fact, bring in a boost to connectivity, and not just bring in a boost to the connectivity in these regions, but also revolutionize the very connectivity here, because it has the state-of-the-art facilities when we speak of both the stations that have been created for these railways, as well as this particular metro coaches in itself, the upgraded technology which is being used to, in fact, make them, and all of the facilities and features that are included in it, all of it makes it very, very important and an advanced technology being brought to the users in these very regions. Now, we have ground reports that's been brought to us by our colleague Ashutosh Mishra, who has, in fact, been bringing us all the latest details on the very day and these railways and coaches. Let's quickly take a look as to what has been brought to us by him.
Sarai Kalekha is one of the largest transit system, like we have seen in in London, in Rome, where you have a transit multi-graded system. Sarai Kalekha, eventually people coming from Meerut will just get out and deboard this train and then take a platform to either go to the metro stations connecting all across Delhi, or take ISBT buses to travel any part of the NCR. From Meerut to other these stations, there are 16 railway stations. People will go buy their tickets, physical tickets or this smart tickets using their vending card, their smart card, just tap or buy the scanner code. Once you take the system, there will be dedicated platforms. For now, between Delhi to Meerut, there are 2 platforms each side. One, to and fro, I mean, of course, from Meerut to Muradnagar via, and all these traveling, coming to Ashok Nagar via, then coming to Sarai Kalekha. So that's a multi-integrated transport system. Now, what is so specialty about this train and the track is that at this similar track, you are saying the rapid rail, the semi-bullet train is flying up to Meerut, but in a part of Meerut from Modipuram to again Meerut South, the similar stretch will be used by Meerut Metro. That will also be flying with the speed of 120 km. So similar track is now going to be multiple purpose use, rapid rail at the same time metro rail.
So Ashutosh Mishra is also joining us live at this point to just bring us more details on the day's events planned. And as we speak, we also see the Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath, in fact, addressing the crowd that's, in fact, assembled for that rally there that's taking place. It's a public meeting of sorts that's taking place right after the inauguration, for the inauguration rather, in the event of the inauguration. And Prime Minister Modi is also slated to address the people there who have assembled. But right now, Ashutosh continues to be with us. Ashutosh, in-depth details have been brought to us by you at this point about the coaches, about the facility, the time it will be in fact cutting down for the commuters who in fact do use this route on a daily basis. Just to sum it up for the day, just to understand both these, I want you to shed light on both these particular trains in a bit of a summary. One being the RRTS and the other being the Meerut Metro, and how individually both these trains will be helping the infrastructure, bring about an infrastructure boost in this very region.
Well, of course, many of these, viewers probably be a little confused that what is this RTBS, RRTS train and at the same time Meerut Metro. Well, to understand, let me take you through the map. So this is where we are, Sarai Kalekha, the last station for now. And so far it was operational to New Ashoknagar. From Sarai Kalekha to all these 16 stations to Modipuram, the track remains the same, where you'll have the rapid rail. In fact, it's called Namo Bharat rail that will be plying through. So we are on board the same train. So from Sarai Kalekha to Modipuram, it is the operational area for the rapid rail, which is around 40 to 55 minutes, what is being at the 160 kilometer speed. Now, exactly what we know here, that from Modi Nagar South, from this stretch, Modi Nagar South, to Shatabdi. This is where exactly the Prime Minister boarded the metro. Modi Nagar South to Modipuram. This stretch that you see, the 6th station, that is the part of Meerut Metro, which is again India's fastest metro train. Track remains the same. This part in Uttar Pradesh, in Meerut, Modi Nagar South to Modipuram, the Meerut South to Modipuram, these 4 stations will be part of the Meerut Metro, the fastest metro. But from here to here, that remains the rapid rail. So the rail track remains the same. This is what the speciality and the significance of this project, that even in future, if certain areas, be it in NCR or the Western India or the Southern India, such regional corridors are developed, eventually the tracks will be designed in a way that further expansion for a smaller distance, because metro plying usually between 20 kilometer, 30 kilometer, that's what the metros are mostly designed, with a shorter route. But rapid rail with a higher speed takes a longer route, like 82 kilometer, this particular stage. So from Sarai Kalekha to Modipuram, it is the rapid rail. From Meerut South to Modipuram remains the Meerut Metro. Further expansion onwards towards that area will be a future project. So that's the 2 critical projects on the similar track, the entire infrastructure, which is around 32,000 crore. 2019, it all started. Within 7 years, it is being inaugurated. For Meerut remains highly congested. And if you travel towards Haridwar or further, you have seen the Meerut, despite being 3 to 6 lane, remains highly congested. Your vehicles cannot go beyond 50 to 60 kilometer. Why it reduces time? Because you can park your vehicles any of these metro stations, any of these rapid rail stations, and just simply board a train, reach Delhi. Someone coming from Meerut, imagine someone has to travel from Modipuram and someone has to travel to the Delhi airport. The travel time is no less than 4 hours. Coming down to Delhi, crossing all the traffic, and then you reach down. But eventually someone taking Modipuram, coming down to Sarai Kalekha, taking a metro station, taking the rapid rail, reduces time to 40 minutes. From Sarai Kalekha, just get down simply on the other side. Adjacent is within 50 meter of the radius, you have the Sarai Kalekha metro station. From metro station, connectivity goes to the airport. So eventually it reduces the time to nearly less than 2 hours, 1 hour 40 minutes, 1 hour 45 minutes. So how significantly one can reduce the travel time for the critical, visit in case of emergency, in case of boarding a flight. In all the way, that wise makes it very infrastructure. When you say largely for the Delhi pocket, you don't have the number of people traveling from Delhi to Meerut. So critically, Delhi, it may not be very significant or important. But for Uttar Pradesh, for Ghaziabad, for Muradnagar, for Modi Nagar, and for Meerut and onwards areas, this remains highly impactful and very significant project for that NCR connectivity. And that's why I say the size of NCR with this project we see going to expand further, Shreya.
Absolutely. Ashutosh, earlier in one of your reports, one very special feature that you brought to us, and that's not a feature of the train per se, but you were telling us how this also brings about a boost to women. How I say that is, what you were telling us is some of the, in fact, majority parts of the drivers who will be operating these very trains will be women, and you spoke to some of them as well. And in fact, one of the first trains being operated by 2 female drivers, if I'm not wrong. If you could just take us through that very information in a bit more detail.
80%.
80%. Okay, yes, just take us through the details.
80%, Shreya. 80% of the rapid rail staff will be women. So that's when I the women, when we talk about women empowerment, it remains only a symbolic. In fact, one of the coach where we are, this is actually reserved for the women. But since it's an operational day, inauguration day, one can forgive us because we are also bringing the reports and also showing how beautiful it has been designed, incredibly designed, the interior part. So this is reserved for the women. So the rapid rail will have one whole reserves, the coach for the women. And beyond that, that's a non-premium category of the coaches compartments. So the train, most of the driver, in fact, 80% of, not only the train, in fact, the ticket vending machine and the other operational part of these area, 80% will be women. So that actually defines women empowerment in a great sense. Most of these workers, in fact, few of these security persons, the operating staff are on board, and we are in a woman coach. In fact, the coaches are being logged because for any minutes from now, the train is going to depart, and probably I'll be the first passenger, other than the Prime Minister, since he's boarding from the first point of Meerut, and I'm at the first point of Delhi. So since he has already taken a ride, he has inaugurated the project, I'll be the probably first passenger to board this train from Sarai Kale Khan and to onwards Ashok Nagar, or see if I could reach even Meerut as well. But 6 p.m. onwards, Shreya and viewers, you all are free. Take tickets, buy your QR scanner, scan your tickets, take the ride up. This is literally incredible in terms of what we see, the train, the transportation mediums, certain elevated area, underground areas, and the landscape, because I have, through the road stretches I have traveled to that pocket, the landscape itself is beautifully done. And when you have a larger windows like this, of course, it is going to be a marvelous visual optics all around when you'll travel from Delhi to Meerut. The 45 to 50 minutes of this ride of this metro train or the Namo Bharat train is going to be incredible for everyone.
Right, Ashutosh. Definitely. This indeed, not just in terms of technology, we see an upgrade in all possible ways with this particular railway corridor that's in fact being launched and inaugurated by the Prime Minister. I'm sure the people there are also eagerly waiting for that address to begin. Ashutosh, just to ask you one thing, and this I want to know personally from you. You know, you've been bringing to us all these features about the particular coaches. What would you see? What would you say at this point is one of those features that struck you the most in these coaches? One thing that you would say that, you know, this really symbolizes Viksit Bharat that we keep speaking of, that this government keeps in fact speaking of, their vision, their motto. What would that one feature be if you were to sum it up for the day?
Well, I would say, Shreya, leave the slogans for the government. We as a journalist, we always, seeing upgradation of the infrastructure, and over the time, things have always done in the past, and it has a constant process. One thing that you give a credit to the current government, that within 11 years of this governance, most of the front, particularly in the sector of infrastructure, we have this tremendously growth and incredible growth in terms of enhancement of infrastructure. Within 7 years, as I say, it's amazingly, incredibly done. Within 7 years, 82 kilometers of the corridor, and such upgradation of the transportation connectivity, Meerut. And I remember till the Delhi-Meerut highway was not built, it used to take 4 to 5 hours just to travel 60-70 kilometers. Now we travel in less than an hour. And when you talk about the train, of course, the premium class that I would say is amazingly, because this is reserved for the women, but the premium category of them, you have the mobile charger, you have the laptop charger, incline seat, foot stand, magazine holder, and the food dispensing machine if I have to travel with my family, my child, if you need some beverages, chips, cold drinks, everything is provided. In fact, that's the premium coach, which has now been logged. The train is actually anytime is movable, so we are just on a standby. So the premium class indeed is something worth visiting. But at the same time, the upgradation in the other coaches, because I would see when the bullet trains, or I have traveled in the countries like Rome, in Korea, in Japan, in London, other places, when we see such kind of metro stations operational, clearly they look exactly similar. You have the Vista Dome. I mean, those coaches are totally designed a different pattern. This is largely for the commuters. When you have a white, the glasses, clearly visible things when you operate. And I could see during the monsoon, it will give amazingly visual optics for the commuters traveling. But for now, since we're only talking about connectivity, more important, comfortable, luxurious, time reducing, and at the same time, when you talk about climate perspective, of course, the carbon emission reduction. But of course, there are a lot of things by the government that need to be done, particularly the Delhi-Meerut highway, and when it comes to NCR pockets like Ghaziabad and Greater Noida. But for now, it's a great start. This is the day when the entire stretch is going to be inaugurated, the Meerut Metro. to the Delhi part of this rapid rail, and all this sort going done after 6 p.m. onwards will also see the experience of the people, commuters, and who all going to be, traveling through the train. But I would say for the business communities, number of the people, those who are using their private cars, need not to travel anymore through the cars. This is really a great idea going to be taking this metro. So, the budget, the affordable, leave your vehicles, and comfortable journey.
Right, Ashutosh, and we will leave it at that. And we have, in fact, exhaustively brought all details about these very trains to our viewers. And we will be keeping a very close watch on that program that still continues to take place in Meerut. The Prime Minister is to address the people there who've gathered for this inauguration shortly.